Good morning. I haven't done a car video in a long time, but I am feeling like I have some stuff to say today. So we're in a really, really beautiful time of the year every year between the 7/7 beginning of the Sirius Sirian portal gateway and 8/8 is always a beautiful time. There's a lot of spiritual energy during this passage every year, and it's just culminating so hard in August with the triple magnification of the spiritual number of 8, which is infinity and abundance, and 7 being very, very spiritual as far as, this goes back so far, so many different things, 7 days, the Bible, all this stuff. And what I am feeling and thinking about right now has to do with how a lot of things energy, it changes instantaneously. And we here on Earth are living in the third dimension, and it doesn't mean that people don't feel it. It doesn't mean that it doesn't affect them, but because of the collective amnesia of being a person who walks on Earth, a lot of people cannot understand why they're feeling the way that they're feeling, but they are beginning to realize and feel like certain things are not sustainable, or without having the logical thought trails to connect a conscious understanding of their dissatisfaction and instability and anxiety welling up, they may not be able to put that into even thoughts, much less words. And so it's just manifesting in this extreme discomfort, or feeling a little bit out of control, or you can't get your thoughts together, or every day is just dragging on, or every day is going by really fast. And it creates emotional volatility, because when we don't feel in control, we have a fight or flight fear reaction, and people respond to that in different ways. Some people freeze and shut down, some people get angry, some people get sad. And when we're connected to understanding what's happening on every level right now, we can set ourselves free of being a part of that tumultuous, energetic situation. So I think it's important to remember that that's where we're at, because the best is yet to come, and there's so much that has already been manifested that hasn't shown itself yet in the 3D, because this is where. And I'm seeing a heavy curtain on a red curtain on a stage. If you were pulling the top of it, eventually the bottom of it would swing, right? But there would be some type of buffer in the physics of that drapery. If you're pulling at the top, getting the bottom to swing, and that motion to move all the way down to affect the lowest level of it. That's sort of what's happening now. And it's just it's a very hypocrisy, paradoxy energy, because I want to say fasten your seatbelts, but also unbuckle, go into weightlessness. There's so much that we feel pressing down on us and into us, from every angle, unless you can connect with the aspects of yourself that exist outside this realm. And once you feel and connect with it, we're for the people that are in this state of rapid ascension. Just to put it in perspective for you, not a single moment of my life these days goes by where I'm not consciously regulating and plugged into my energy. I don't, lapse into semi-consciousness anymore, or run myself around in circles of lower vibrational self-sabotage. I don't. I've cleaned it up a lot, especially in the last few weeks, because this has been just a big one. These past few weeks have been major for finally kicking some stuff out, because it's there are certain things in life we want to do, we want to have, and we have so much more control than we realize. We have to be able to integrate everything that we do and everything that we possess, no matter where it came from and no matter why, in order to move beyond it. And a lot of people aren't going to get there or want to do that because it's a choice. But again, we don't even realize that it's a choice. I know that people get that who get it, but that's how brainwashed and disillusioned we are collectively to what's going on. We don't even realize how much we do that we don't have to, just to put it simply. But when you're connected, it's like, you know that nothing can harm you. You know that every decision is the right one, because regardless of what happens, it will lead you on to what you're meant to learn. You know that this life is just an expression of the manifold existence that your oversoul is experiencing. You might be experiencing bleed through from your simultaneous selves or past lives right now. I'm continuing to have, it's so fascinating to me now that I have, like, again, this, like, hindsight, this current of hindsight. It's like crazy what we're reflecting on from the past few months, past 6 months, past 12 months. I'm going to be talking a lot more about sexual energy, feminine energy in the next few weeks to months, because it's interesting. Like, this time last year, I had just gotten back from Italy. And when I was in Italy, I started recording videos on the channel for the first time really consistently since January of 2023. But 2023 was a major year for me getting in touch with certain past lives and past life gifts, simultaneous selves. 2024 has been much more about my star lineage and the purpose of integration for this life, that has to do with the actual grid work and light worker work, the stuff that's very hard to translate into human terms because it's so high level. That's what 2024 has been for. Whereas 2023 was more of like different kinds of lessons. But it's interesting to see how there are certain themes that are cropping up, like this time this year, thinking about sexual energy, the marketing of it all. I was like super wrapped up in Barbie, and I will be doing a Barbie breakdown. I know it seems like, really? You're like, yeah, I am still gonna do it. It's deeply important. The people who find it when they're meant to find it will get something from it, and that's enough for me. And also the creation of it is something that I'm excited to do. So anyway, on the morning of the 7/7 portal, I was out of the city. I live in Pittsburgh. I was 2.5 hours away by the lake. And I woke up at 4 and I just went outside to the lawn with my dog. I went outside and I was looking up at the sky. I was lying in bed. I slept on, we had so many different family members at my summer home. So I had to sleep on a little like dollhouse porch on an air mattress. I didn't have a bed, and there's windows everywhere. So actually it was kind of cool because I was lying there and there was just windows. And so it felt like I was floating on a platform in the sky, looking up, seeing stars everywhere. And as I lay there, I started seeing ships flying by. Not planes, not satellites, not freaking Starlink by Elon Musk. I told some of my family members about this the morning after, and they were like, yeah, Starlink has these, the ones in a row. But I've seen the Starlink ships. That's not what I saw. Those ones are in a row, and they're pretty tight together. And I know that they can change the way that they're moving based on, oh, shit. Sorry, I had a moment like that in one of my videos for a minute. In the car. I'm a great driver. Okay. It was really cool. It wasn't Starlink, it wasn't satellites, it wasn't airplanes, and I was moved to get out of my bed and watch them and sit there and be with them. And it was like ships flying over, almost like how it looks when I do astral projections and then I'm ejected into a different reality and I'm just in this null space, almost like where Eleven from Stranger Things goes when she's going to be doing remote viewing. I tend to see just a black void, but I see white lights whizzing by, and it wasn't even like just one. Sometimes there'd be two together, and I saw 3 shooting stars. I was out there praying. I was out there affirming my existence and what I'm doing on this planet and what's coming, and it was just like amazing. So amazing. And I felt all the times. I've stood on that hillside and looked up at the stars for years, since I was born. And it just felt like profoundly transformational, and I'm glad I did that. And yeah, I think I was going to talk a little bit too about like the feeling of merging with the understanding of your oneness, and that your ability to peer through your own eyes each and every day is, you know, a controlled move that you have some say in. You can choose to consciously respond to absolutely everything. You can take reactionary motion off the table if you want to. You just have to get to a point where you don't forget. That's really as simple as it is. And it's like, it's not like I believe that there's a spiritual phase or a phase of waking up where people are just insanely hard on themselves. I certainly have been for a very long time. When you're aware, but you're not capable of making certain changes. That's one of the deepest, most hardest, challenging parts of integrating new levels of awareness, is knowing, I talked about this the other day, knowing better, not being able to do better for whatever reason. That's okay. Listen, you can't get it wrong. It's just a matter of time. Go along the merry-go-round as long as you want. But, you know, when it's like, for me, in July, I'm not smoking weed anymore. I do smoke a lot of weed, and it's just not productive for me right now. And cutting that out is opening up so much creative potential for me. And I've known this for months. I've known this for years. But energy changes. It's not like, oh, weed is bad, you shouldn't do it. No, for some people it's really assistive in the work they do in their energy. And there's been times in the past where I've stopped smoking, hasn't helped me at all, was an interference to the ways that I was becoming. 2018 is one of those years. But then there's other times where it's very assistive to my creativity and whatnot, and it still is, but I'm just taking a detox in order to quantum leap with the energies of July into August. It's more important, and all of my energy, all of my focus, like from morning to evening, from waking to sleep, I am in the process of moving up on and solidifying my highest timeline now. Like, it's such a cool feeling, and so many things have shifted in the last few days. Archangel Michael, please go to them, please help them. Huge accident. What else do I got to tell you? I think that's it. I think that's all I'm going to talk about this morning. I really was moved to do a reading yesterday, and I was communicating with my higher self, my guides, and my energy's not in the right space yet. So perhaps today we're starting off with a car ramble, because I'm going to be easing back into doing long form readings. I've also been shifting a lot at my personal residence where I live, and I need to do all of that before I can sit back up there in that studio. If anybody does watch my videos, they know that I've just been sitting in my living room, and I have my little spot upstairs where I prefer to record, and I set it up to be my little recording place, but I just there's an overhaul taking place, and so that will be settling. But again, with the painting, it's just such a beautiful time. Just if people are struggling, if people are confused for any reason, in any way, come back to the present moment, release yourself, breathe very deeply. Breathe very deeply, very consciously, and remind yourself that in this present moment, it is the seed of all other moments, and that quantum power of consciously understanding that the present moment is an expression of everything that has ever happened and everything that ever will. You can become a creator again and shift as much as you want to. You can shift as much as you want to out of what it is that you're dealing with. By setting yourself free, right? The present moment is a portal to infinity. So you can go around me, hun. I'm not about it. All right. Have a great day. There is some stuff that I want to talk about, because I had, if you've never, I don't know, if you're just finding my videos, hello. I lost my grandfather in February, and we had a funeral in April, but we had a subsequent memorial this weekend, and actually put him in the ground, or, you know, a box of ashes. And a woman who's in my, I don't know how I'm related to her, but I have a massive community through extended family on my dad's side, and she spoke, I believe she's a pastor, she spoke about what's beyond. She has a pretty Christian lens on the experience of, you know, the afterlife, which is welcome. I'm non-judgmental when it comes to how people put together beliefs. She was talking about a neuroscientist who had a near-death experience where he was in a coma, and he was able to leave his body and understand that there is something outside of this 3D physical world. And I mean, it was a memorial service, so a lot of people were crying, but I was so moved. I could not, like, there was so many things on so many different levels of my being happening when I was listening to her and when I was sitting there with my family and when we were just like feeling the magnitude of what it was that we were doing. I was crying like a faucet all day, actually. Really powerful, tearful, intense, transformational day for me. Because for my whole life, right, I've had a life of being surrounded by people who listen to certain things that I say. They think I'm a conspiracy theorist. They're worried about my sanity. They don't understand why I believe in what I believe in, and I have never given it up despite that. But there's been a lot of gaslighting and a lot of people judging me, and it's been really painful at a lot of different points. And I was crying for being able to release all of that and know without a shadow of a doubt that I've always been right and it's been okay to be different. And I'm so grateful that I never stopped. And again, just having the spirit of my grandfather with me, telling me that they're going to understand, you know, maybe not everybody in the world, but like the people in my life who have come against me will know. It will become clear, you know, in time. And we don't do things to show others. We do things because it's right and it's resonant. And there's almost been times in my life where I'm ashamed that I can't be different. I'm ashamed that I can't just like be normal and settle down and do it correctly, quote unquote, because it's been lonely and there haven't been a lot of people to corroborate my experiences. But right, over time I've found them and it's all good. But anyway, that was just really intense. And it was special to have her talking about that at the funeral, because I've had numerous near-death experiences out of body. 2 near-death, 1 out of body, or multiple out of body. 2 near-death experiences. And have also, when you experience it, you can't not believe in it. And it doesn't matter what you experience and what you believe in, because if you talk to somebody about what you've experienced, all they hear is a story. And you can't change someone else's belief based off of your experiences. And I used to try to do that a lot. And it's not about that. It's about everything that I know based on what I've survived and what I've gone through and how I want to be as a result of that. It's not about talking about all of it. It's about embodying the result of all of it, you know, because it's not for naught. And I just feel like there's somebody else out there who needs to know that too. Like, you don't have to even understand every passage of your journey, but it's all meant for you to arrive at more wholeness. And it's okay if you don't have a lot of people in your corner right now. So yeah, sending lots of love out there today and all days in every way.